What's going on, everybody? Wanted to come and drop off this article right quick. Here we are. Rise, rise of the machines. Here we are. Okay, let's dive right into this terrifying rise of AI slaughter bots could wipe out humanity. This is actually a new article, as y'all see from the timestamp and date. Governments around the world are racing to develop terrifying new AI weaponry that experts fear could cause widespread slaughter. A superpower arms race to build killer robots could wipe out humanity if left unchecked, experts fear. The doomsday warning comes after a UN conference failed to agree a ban on Terminator-style slaughter bots, which are being developed by China, Russia, and the US. Come on, we all know that the UN is a complete joke. The world as we know is a complete joke. Who didn't see this coming? Who didn't? They told us this. Anyway, major powers are investing billions to create advanced AI weapons that can hunt and strike targets with no input from controllers. Last year, a Turkish made kamikaze drone made the world's first autonomous kill on human targets in Libya, a UN report revealed. But experts warn the technology is advancing so fast, governments and societies have not properly considered the dangers. We have considered it. We all seen the movies. We know the possibilities. We know the outcomes. We know this. We seen it. Come on. What didn't Terminator show us? Come on. Come on. So what Terminator showed us is far fetched. Okay. Okay. They say machines making their own decisions are prone to unpredictable and rapidly spreading errors. These arise from codes called algorithms, which even the programmers don't always understand and cannot copy. Cannot stop going off. If AI weapons in the future are armed with biological, chemical, or even nuclear warheads, the results could be unintentional Armageddon. It is a world where the sort of unavoidable algorithmic, algorithmic errors that plague even tech giants like Amazon and Google can now lead to the elimination of whole cities, warns Professor James Dawes of Maclaster College, or whatever. Hope I didn't butcher that. The world should not repeat the catastrophic mistakes of the nuclear arms race. It should not sleepwalk into dystopia. And that's true, but they know this. History doesn't look, it's we're in a cycle. We all know that history does nothing but repeat itself. All it do is evolve. We had wars back then where they were using bows and arrows. It evolved to guns and gunpowder and bullets. That too is evolving to lasers, to AI, and so on and so forth. Everything evolves. We all know this though. He told Wire, the technology is developing much faster than the military political discussion, and we're headed by default to the worst possible outcome. A potential ban on so-called lethal autonomous weapon systems laws, so that's them for short, was discussed last week at the UN's five-yearly convention on certain conventional weapons. Some of the 120 nations taking part, including Brazil, South Africa, New Zealand, argued laws should be restricted by treaty like landmines and some incendiaries. A growing list of countries, including France and Germany, support limits on some autonomous weapons, including those that target humans. China said it supports a narrow set of restrictions. Oh my God. Other nations, including the U.S., Russia, India, UK, Australia, resist a ban, saying that continuing to develop killer robots is essential to avoid being a strategic disadvantage. Which takes me to this movie. If y'all haven't seen The Control Factor, starring Alec Baldwin, which is you can only find on Vimeo. It's solely about what we're going through right now as targets. I would not disappoint you if y'all haven't checked that movie out. Check it out. Control Factor by Adam Adam I mean Ad, Alec Baldwin. I made a video about this a year ago on my old channel, but of course YouTube took it. But anyway, back to the point. Now, in this movie, Control Factor, starring Alec Baldwin, there was a scene in there where Alec Baldwin was talking to an FBI agent, and when he started uncovering things, and he became aware that he was being eavesdropped on and spied on, he was talking to the agent, and he said to this agent, I quote, "Why are you doing this?" The agent replied, and I quote, "Well, if we don't develop the technology, Mr. So and so, then someone else will." Which brings me back to this closing statement that they said all of these nations, including us, said that it's essential to avoid being at a strategic disadvantage. So I say that to say this. It's absolutely true that if this technology exists and if people are capable of creating it, then it is the arm race, and everyone have to get involved on a simple fact that no one wants to be at a disadvantage. There's no one, look, if they're not willing to make laws for this, they're not going to make laws to this. They're not. Not until this technology is fully developed. Right now, every nation, as you can see, the United Nations is just being paid off by all these other nations to allow this and to resist a ban. As you can see, their whole in this paragraph right here, the part I want to highlight is it's saying how other nations, including the US, Russia, India, the UK, and Australia, resist a ban, saying that continuing to develop killer robots is essential to avoid being at a strategic disadvantage. So, so what we have here is it's not going to stop. Not until this technology is on the forefront and it's developed and everybody has it under control and this nation has it and that nation has it. They're not going to stop this. Moving on, life and death decisions. Already a terrifying array of AI weapons have been deployed around the world, including self-firing machine guns in Korea's demilitarized zone, no man's land. At least 14 countries have suicide AI drones, including Israel, devastating Harop unmanned attack plane, which was used to hunt down Hamas terrorists. Harops, however you pronounce that, also devastates Armenia's army during the clash with whatever. I am not going to even attempt it last year, although it was not revealed if they acted with or without human input. Russia's deadly robot weapon include the new Checkmate stealth flight fighter, which combines AI systems with a human pilot. Designers say there could be a future version with no need for a pilot. China began tests over a decade ago on a robot submarine designed to track and destroy enemy ships autonomous, autonomously. Sorry, that's a new word I'm adding to my vocabulary, as you see. It has also recently unveiled an anti-submarine drone and truck-launched battlefield drone swarms. China is also building a robot warship armed with torpedoes, satellite pictures revealed in October. All these killing machines can be programmed to seek human approval before attacking the targets they find, but they could also be used as the ultimate fire and forget technology, loitering for hours or days, ready to fire on targets chosen entirely by a computer. Unchecked slaughter. Experts say leading militaries are kidding themselves if they believe they can control spread of these advanced new weapons. They say rogue states and terrorists will inevitably try to get a hold of them to unleash massacres. As Cutback killer robots become as cheap as, yeah, that. Gangs such as Mexico cartels could use them to in a terrifying new wave of bloodshed. If you can buy slaughterbots for the same price as the AK-47, that's much preferable for drug cartels because you're not going to get caught when you kill someone. Professor Tagmark told The Sun. Even if a judge has lots of bodyguards, you can fly in through a bedroom window while they're sleeping and kill them. And governments will be more likely to go to war in future, experts say, as robot weapons mean fewer soldiers in the firing line. They also offer the false promise of clean strikes that don't harm civilians, which is a lie, with zero accountability for the inevitable war crimes they will commit, which is true. If y'all look, I'm glad that this article did speak on that. We just recently, not we, but the United States just recently bombed civilians over there in what country? What country? Was it Afghanistan? Anyway, this is recently. This is not even a week old. And the Pentagon denied, refused to punish the soldiers, the United States soldiers who killed these civilians over there in the next country with this drone strike. So this article is telling you, so by them developing this technology and things could go left or right, these soldiers are allowed to do this under the guise that they won't be punished because it's an armed race anyway, so it's gonna be casualties. This is sick. The threat from China and Russia has convinced U.S. military planners of the importance of not being left behind in the 24th century arms race. All these places are working together, in my opinion. The Defense Advanced Research Project Agency has begun trials involving large numbers of drones and ground vehicles that work together in ways that operates struggle to control. The U.S. Air Force is also investigating how AI could help or even replace human fighter pilots in a new military landscape ruled by machines. In April, a Pentagon official confirmed they are considering whether it will one day be necessary to remove humans from the chain of command situations where they cannot respond fast enough against robot enemies. The superpower arms race shows it may already be too late to stop the rise of the machines. And it is. One thing about mankind is mankind could be so stupid. It's like we don't know our limits. Even if people say that the sky's the limit or whatever. What I mean in the sense of certain things need to be just left alone. Look, really, certain things need to be left alone. Why do these people continue to just create things that they know that it's gonna be hard to control? Why are they doing this? It's like when there's an arm race, just know this. There's gonna be a lot of casualties, folks. And those casualties, unfortunately, is gonna be innocent civilians, such as you and I. That's the sad truth.